Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Today, we're going to be talking a little politics, and we're going to expressly talk about the can of worms that the Democrats have opened up by removing Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado and in Maine. Now, listen, you don't have to be a Trump supporter to understand how dangerous this is. All right. I mean, insurrection in and itself was a dangerous point opportunity or a point insurrection where it wasn't going to go any further than it did. Uh, wasn't the sister or the lady who got shot ended it pretty much because the Secret Service had to do what they had to do because if all of those crazy assholes would have got past that barrier, they probably was going to hurt some congressmen, congress people, even if they say they didn't think they would. I don't. The Secret Service guys could not take that chance. Anyway, so before we go into why this is so dangerous, uh, what the Democrats are doing, like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, provide some comments. Tell me what you think about this removing Trump off the ballot. I mean, get your feelings out the way and just kind of think about what's being done here. The disenfranchising of millions of voters in just two states. Think about that. You're telling people that we're not gonna give you the opportunity to vote for Trump, even if you wanted to. And there's no guarantee that these people would either. But in Colorado, we're going to talk about voters, potential voters 18 and older. There's like 4.6 million people in Colorado and 1.1 million people of age in Maine. And if you look at the breakdown between Republicans, Democrats, and independents, or people who, are issue driven, it's 42% Democrat in Colorado, 41% Republican, and 17% of people who are undecided. They'll go either way depending on the issues. So you can see right there, the Colorado ruling is telling half the voting population that you won't even get an opportunity to vote for who you want to vote for. I mean, if you can't see the danger in doing something like that, then you really need to turn in your American card. Okay. Uh, in Maine, the numbers not quite that high, only because there's only 1.1 million voters, potential voters eligible anyway. But still, we're talking about the breakdown is 35% Democrat, 28% Republican, but 32% of the people in Maine are undecided that they'll go either way. They don't have any party affiliation. So even if you gave half of those people to the Republicans or a quarter, it's still significant on top of the 319,000 people who can't vote for the candidate of their choice as Republicans. So when you add it up, we're talking about already in just two states, we're talking about 2.7 million people disenfranchised by this vote, by this decision by the Democrats. And if you ask me, this already is worse than the January 6th insurrection. If the Supreme Court doesn't squash this quick, fast, and in a hurry. Listen, the Democrats are pretty much telling you that they don't think they could beat Trump. A guy who has not what 19 or some crazy number of indictments. A guy who has proven that you listen, and when it comes to the law, he'll skirt it, even though he resonates with so many people because it's kind of true that everything he did wasn't all bad in terms of policy. It's hard to deny that. And you can't just call all his people racist. You can't start hurling names in sign language. There's a lot of intelligent people who don't like the bullshit that's going on the Democratic on the Democrat side. And it's getting worse, right? The free for all, the anything goes, and all of that kind of stuff, the wokeism. It's just mind boggling how you guys have lost touch with the American people. Then not to mention inflation and runaway, the participation in the Ukraine war, uh, which is tapping dollars. And let's not even mention, I mean, this is a whole video onto itself. The open borders where illegal immigrants are flowing into our country without without any kind of regard for our sovereign borders, and they're getting rights and benefits that people who are here can't even get. So it's a bad situation for the Democrats. And not to mention, Biden can barely stand on his own 2 feet, and absolutely nobody wants Kamala Harris to be president. Let's just face it, okay? I mean, not even Democrats, all right? So they're in bad shape. 2024 is going to be an interesting year. And I hope the Supreme Court acts fast, because if more and more states try to get, I believe Michigan denied the request to get them off the ballot. Thank goodness, and they have a Democrat governor. But let me tell you, you know, if the amount of states that deny him entry to the ballot means that he can't get any of those electoral votes, and that automatically gives the win to a Democrat. Let me tell you, the insurrection is going to pale in comparison to what's going to happen. That's what I think. And then if the Republicans get in office, one way, shape, form, or fashion, we know they're going to retaliate. We know that. I mean, they're going to retaliate, and we're going to be going back and forth. And guess who's going to miss out? The American people. Already we're missing out, because both parties are no longer representing the people of the United States. They're just fighting each other, just fighting each other for supremacy and power and money. And everybody sees it, right? And the Democrats are in for a rude awakening, because, for whatever it's worth, because they're going to lose a fair amount of the black male vote. Black females, they are pretty much not aligned with black men. But black men have said there's absolutely nothing in the Democrat Party for them, So, not to say they're going to go over to the Republicans, but they just tired of the okey doke on the Democrat side. So, hey, listen, it's going to be interesting 2024. And this is going to be short, but think about it. Everybody out there, or anybody who hears this, just think about the precedence that's being set if Donald Trump won't be allowed to even win his Republican primary, because the Democrats won't let him on the ballot in particular states. I think that's very dangerous for the Republic. It could be Republic breaking, to tell you the truth. So I don't know. Listen up, and even if you're a Democrat, take your emotions out of it. You shouldn't want this. You just shouldn't want this. Anyway, our pain, marriage, politics, and sports, over and out.